So, Ben, well, I was running late too, but Ben is running even later. So we're gonna take a little bit to get started. I am going to put up. Hey, Sandy. I am going to put up Mesilat Yesharim. We were in chapter 19, paragraph 60. Actually, yeah, we did 59. So vehine, I am going to get some water. Who let this guy get internet access? Good question. Oh, so birthday presents from you know who. Yeah. And we're having an estuary meeting after this, so I'll be back. I should turn on the light. I am back. Okay. I don't know. Does anybody have questions, comments, interrogatories, complaints? While we wait, it's going to be like 10 more minutes before he gets on, at least. And I don't know if any of you very few people who are actually paying attention have been following along. We are on chapter 19 of 26. Let me see. So, in the physical book, if you have it from Feldheim, chapter 19 is pretty far down. Chapter 19 starts on page 221. And let's see. Did we already go over animals? I don't remember us talking about animals, but it's been a while. Yeah, this looks like where we were. Yeah, this looks familiar. Yeah, so it's on page 238. Okay, how is chapter 19 on page 238 and there's only 339 pages? So, I guess we're 3/4 of the way through. Chapter 19 ends on page 266. So we've got a bunch to go. And then chapter 20 is until 274. It's only 8 pages. So 20 is pretty short. 21 is very short. 22 is pretty short. Oh, 22 is kind of one of the longer of the short chapters. 23 is pretty short. 24 is pretty short. 25 is only like 2 pages. Yeah, 25 is only 2 pages. And 26 is pretty short. So there we go. Okay. I have zero idea why you guys are silently watching me count the pages in the chapters, but apparently you are. I am going to do some review from earlier in this chapter. Ben is running a little late. Hello, Kirk. How you doing? Maybe on Thursday, although I've been really busy. Yeah, well, them's the break, my dear sir. הנה כבוד המצווה ויקרה. כבר הזהירונו עליו חז"ל. So the sages warned us to be careful with the commandments. זה כלי וענווהו התנאה לפניו במצוות. This is my God and I will praise him. So what does that mean? It means to make things nice before him. Tzitzit na'a, tefillin na'a, sefer Torah na'a, na'eh. Yeah, so tzitzit na'a because tzitzit is feminine. Tefillin na'eh because tefillah is masculine. I mean, really, tefillin should be na'im. Sefer Torah na'eh. Lulav na'eh, right? V'chen amru hidur mitzvah ad shlish, said a third of it should be for its beauty. Ad kan mishalo mikan ve'elech mishal hakadosh baruch hu. Up to there, it belongs to him, and more so, it is. Very funny, Ben. Very, very funny. I am guessing that means you are logging on. So we were here. He will be right here, and he has a cat for his profile pic. So back to 60. And it was Ben's turn to read. There he is.
Hello.
Sir?
Hello, how are you?
Baruch Hashem.
Baruch Hashem, sorry for the delay.
It's quite all right. You have a baby. That is an excuse for everything always.
Time creeps on. I don't know what the right term is, but
Time goes fast when you're having fun or your baby's crying.
it's true. And now I have a cat that doesn't want to leave the chair.
Uh-huh.
Okay, so is that where we were?
This is where we were.
Okay. Sounds good.
Yeah.
Ve'ine in ken.
Yeah.
Yes,
hold on. Is this the last was La'asoto? Where's La'asoto? No. Okay, so Ve'ine. This is where we were. Sorry.
After La'asoto?
Yeah. Well, yeah. This was where I could see when I put the thing, so I'm guessing it was here. Yeah.
והנה בכלל זה, יש כבוד השבתות וימים טובים שכל המרבה לכבדם, ודאי עושה נחת רוח ליוצרו שכן ציוונו וכיבדתו. So in this principle or in this category, so maybe remind us, what is this category, like quickly?
It's piety.
Well, yeah.
Now he's talking about specifically glorifying. So we were talking about how you should have nice tefillin, a nice, a person shouldn't say that God doesn't care about such things. These things are not important to God.
Right.
Actually, beauty and things like that are important to God, as he's gone through several things, and Shabbat is one of them.
Okay. Okay. Yeah, I can see it.
Yeah.
So in this category, it's also being able to respect, give the proper honor to the Shabbat and to the holidays.
Yeah.
Because this gives comfort to your maker.
Right. לעשות נחת רוח ליוצרנו. Yeah.
וכיוון שכבר התאמת לנו שכיבודו מצווה. And because we already know that honoring him is a mitzvah, הנה מיני הכבוד רבים הם. We now see that the kinds of honor that we can bestow on him are many. אך הכלל הוא שכל מעשה שבו נראה חשיבות לשבת, הנה, שנראה חשיבות לשבת, צריכים אנו לעשותו. Okay, So from here we see that the principle is that every deed that any deed brings, I don't know if it means that it's
It
important for
shows
Shabbat,
the importance, right?
shows the
So
importance of Shabbat.
yeah, so you see Shabbat is important when you, because people dress nicely on Shabbat, right? So since honoring the Shabbat is a mitzvah, then anything like putting on your nice Sabbath clothes is also a mitzvah.
Mhm. Okay. Yeah, and here that's like the subject is that as Shabbat, but I was not sure about that. But okay. על כן היו החכמים הראשונים עוסקים בהכנות השבת, איש איש לפי דרכו. And we can see that the first sages would busy themselves with preparing for Shabbat, and each person was according to how he did it. Rabbi Abeu Ava Yitab
Yet, so Abahu, Rabbi
Abahu
Abahu, right?
Abahu.
Hava, wood.
Mhm.
Yatev is to sit, Yeshev.
Mhm. Yeah.
Ataktaka, I have no idea what ataktaka means. It's a stool, apparently. Okay. Shina, literally of tooth, but ivory, apparently. Umenashev Nura, and fan the fire. Okay. Rav Safra Mecharech Eresha, he would roast, okay, the head of an animal.
Would singe the head of the animal prepared for Shabbat to burn off the hair.
Okay. Where are you reading that from?
This is from the art scroll.
Ah, very nice. Rabba Malach Shibuta, he would salt something. What is Shibuta? Is fish?
Yeah, some kind of fish apparently.
Rav Huna Madlik Shraga, so he would light a light. That
Shraga is light. Interesting. I know people that are actually
named Shraga. Yeah,
I think he's a Persian. He's a Persian person.
Shraga. It's a Talmudic name. Shraga.
Okay, interesting.
Rapapa Gadel Petilata, he would lengthen Petila is the wick.
Yeah, patil. Yeah.
Plated the wicks. Okay. Rav Chista Paris Silka.
Mince the beets.
Beets. I knew Selka. I'm like, it couldn't possibly be beets, but apparently.
Oh, I guess selek is beets, right? In Hebrew, also selek.
Yeah. Rabba v'Rav Yosef metzalchu tzive.
They would split the wood.
Aha. Metzalchu tzive. Okay. Rav Nachman mekatef ve'ayel mekatef ve'nafek. He would put it on his shoulder. What?
Yeah, he would put on bundles.
Carried things in and out.
Interesting. I wonder if there's a story. I wonder if it's Rabbi Nachman that he puts that he. There's a very very nice story of him and the Talmud of him like doing everything the opposite, and like the rabbis see him and they're like, "Why are you doing this?" Like he's not telling them hello. When he puts stuff on his shoulder, he takes the coat off.
Yeah.
And they ask him, "Why did you take your coat off?" And something like it gives him an explanation for each thing to show them how careful he is about like the coat. Like I borrowed it from somebody, so I took it off. And so I don't want to ruin it because my shoulder is less important than like the thing that I borrowed from this person. So I wonder if this is the same story.
Well, mekatef means shoulder, ayel means to take up, nafek means to put out. Amar ilu mikalin li Rabbi Ame ve'Rabbi Ase milo mekatfina kamaihu. saying, if Rav Ami and Rav Asi visited me, would I not carry thus for them? I guess so. Since Shabbat is visiting, he's doing the same things he would do if he had important guests. Is that what
Right.
the art scroll says?
I think so. Yeah.
Aha.
Yeah.
Okay, we got through the Aramaic.
Okay. ותראה הקשו של רב נחמן.
Mhm.
And so you see the reasoning, right? The reasoning of Rav Nachman, שיש
Yeah.
לנו ממנו מקום לימוד, that we can learn from this, from his behavior. כי הנה היה מתבונן, מה היה הוא עושה לפי דרכו, לאדם שהוא חפץ לכבודו, וכזה עצמו היה עושה לשבת. So he would see, we can learn from here that Rav Nachman would assess, okay, what do I do when somebody that I want to respect comes in to visit me, and the same I will do. I will prepare myself in the same way for Shabbat. ועל דבר זה נאמר, and about this it was said in Brachot, in the Talmud, לעולם יהיה אדם ערום ביראה, לדעת, forever a person should be ערום.
Cunning, I think. Clever.
Clever. Yeah, it's very, like in modern Hebrew, you can either translate it clever or naked.
In the Bible, that
The Bible.
It talks about it uses the same thing. Yeah.
Okay. So you should be clever in awe, in the way that you fear, in the way that you fear God.
Conduct yourself in awe of God. Yeah.
לדעת ולהתבונן דבר מתוך דבר. To be able to extrapolate, to understand a thing from another thing. ולחדש המצאות, לעשות נחת רוח ליוצרו בכל הדברים שאפשר. And to
Drachim.
כל הדרכים, what did I say?
You said dvarim. Sure.
Oh, I see. And so you should לחדש המצאות, you should be innovative in the way that you give comfort to your maker in all the ways that you can.
Yeah.
Meaning you see, okay, God wants me to, maybe it's more explicit about that I honor Shabbat, or that I can honor God if I do this specific thing. Okay, so what can I understand from this that I can apply to other things that I do?
I often tell men that if you wash the dishes when it's not your turn, or you just get up and wash the dishes, right? That's also a mitzvah. It's a mitzvah of shalom bayit, because, and it doesn't have to be in Shulchan Aruch. It doesn't say in Shulchan Aruch, right? Wash the dishes for your wife, but it's there.
Yeah, I really like this point that I saw on Chabad, on the website. They had like a video, and it made the point about how you have mitzvot, and you have kind of talked about this, several categories. You might have deoraita, you have the rabbanan, so you have something from the Torah, and you have something that the sages, a law that the sages instituted, and then you have customs. And you would think, well, if it's deoraita, is like it's the most important, which it is. But also the custom itself can sometimes be even more sweet. And the person was giving the example of doing something to your wife that didn't tell you explicitly. It's not written in the ketubah or whatever that you need to do this specifically. But you know that she really likes these kind of flowers, or maybe this day is really important to her. So you do something special on that day where she hasn't thought, and that specifically is extra sweet.
Yeah.
So that always landed well.
Nice.
Okay. להראות, היות מכירים גודל רוממותו עלינו. We want to see by doing the things that we said, by extrapolating. showing it. I'm saying by extrapolating, by innovating, we show that we acknowledge the height of his how elevated he is. And asher al ken כל מה שהתייחס לו יהיה נכבד עלינו כבוד גדול. And also that everything that is attributed to him or everything that is related to him, everything that is, everything that is related to him and that we can attach to gives us a great honor.
על כן כל מה שיתייחס לו יהיה נכבד עלינו כבוד גדול. Right? Anything that has to do with God, anything that is related to God, should have an importance to it for us, a great importance.
Right. וכיוון שהוא יתברך בטובו הגדול עם כל שפלותנו, and because that he is he is blessed with his
keep on reading, because this is the sentence is backwards, and in English it doesn't make sense.
כיוון שהוא יתברך בטובו הגדול עם כל שפלותנו, רצה בענוותו לחלק לנו כבוד ולמסור לנו דברי קדושתו, לפחות בכל כוחנו נכבדם ונראה היקר אשר להם אצלנו. So
even though we are so lowly, right? Im kol shiflotenu ratza be'anvato, right? God in his humility wanted to apportion to us some honor, so he gave us his holy things that we could then
within our entire power might.
We could participate in God's holiness.
Right. And we should show, right? We should show how important they are to us, how dear they are to us.
Yeah.
ותראה שזאת היא היראה האמיתית, שהיא יראת הרוממות, שזכרנו שבה תלוי הכבוד המתקרב אל חיבוב האהבה. And you will see that this is the true kind of awe, which is the awe of knowing how elevated God is. That we mentioned that is the how would you translate this? שבה תלוי הכבוד המתקרב לחיבוב אהבה, that it's related to the way that somebody loves, or to the love that you feel towards God.
So batalui, that it depends on, right? So
תלוי הכבוד המתקרב אל חיבוב אהבה.
Here, let's see how they translate it. That this is the true fear of God, irat haromamut, right? Fear of his exaltedness, which we mentioned. Honor out of this type of fear is near to the feelings of intense love, which endears the service of God. These sentences are so convoluted. I like translating them literally. You need to put there's a bunch of appositive clauses, they're called. They're dependent clauses in the thing. So they didn't translate it literally either.
So let's see what the article, how they translate here. So the yirat haromimut, the fear of exaltedness, which we have previously mentioned, upon which depends the Right, and it's also not upon which depends the deep reverence that approaches the level of cherishing mitzvot out of love.
Yeah.
Depends deep reverence.
So yeah, so it's your love of God, right? Depends on Yirat Romamut.
Right.
The two are connected.
תלוי הכבוד המתקרב אל חיבור. Okay, so you fear and then you honor. So it's like the sequence is like the awe and then the honoring and the love, at least here.
Yeah, it's funny, but it seems like he wants to write things in a certain order, and that's why these sentences are so long.
Yeah. Okay. Okay, so weiter. וכמו I think we didn't do that. כמו שיכתוב עוד בסייעתא דשמיא, and like I will explain further, בעזרת השם. I need to translate from Aramaic to Hebrew to English, with the help of God. מה שאין כן, יראת העונש שאינה עיקרית ואין המעלות המידות האלו נמשכות הימן. So like I will write, like I will write further, this is not true. This is different from the fear of the punishment, which is not the main kind of fear or awe. And the love and the honoring of God do not depend or do not grow out of it.
Honestly, the structure of this sentence seems to me that he wanted to talk about Yira Ilah, Ava Ilah, Ava Tata, and then Yira Tata in order.
Right.
And that's why he arranged this sentence the way he did.
Where is, I mean, he's not mentioning Vatata here. Well,
yeah, he is. So there's yeah, so okay, ותראה תראה שזאת היא היראה האמיתית, so יראה אילה, שהיא יראת הרוממות, שזכרנו שבה תלוי כבוד המתקרב אל חיבוב האהבה. I think that's why this is so strangely, right? He doesn't say שבה תלוי כבוד Hamitkarev el Ha'ava.
Yes, like the loving of love.
Yeah, it seems to me he was trying to connect the four together.
Right.
Yeah. Okay. Kabbalists. What can you do? They speak in riddles.
ונחזור לעניין השבת, so we will return to the matter of Shabbat. הנה אמרו in Shabbat, they said, the sages said in the Talmud, in Shabbat, Rav Anan lavish gunda.
Or a gunda. Okay, overalls. Okay.
He wore overalls. דיינו שהיה לובש בגד שחור בערב שבת, כדי שיהיה ניכר יותר כבוד השבת בלובשו בו בגדים נעים.
So, the Kabbalists wear white on Shabbat.
So, דיינו שהיה לובש בגד שחור בערב שבת, so he would wear it before Shabbat came in?
Yeah, he would, on Fridays, he would wear something dark and not so nice, so that when he changed to his Sabbath clothes, yeah, it was even nicer.
Okay. נמצא שלא לבד ההכנה לשבת הוא מכלל הכבוד. We see that it's not only the preparation for Shabbat that is part of the bestowing of honor, אלא אפילו ההיעדר שמכוחו יבחן יותר מציאות הכבוד, גם הוא מכלל המצווה. וכן אסור לקבוע סעודה בערב שבת מפני כבוד השבת, וכן כל כיוצא בזה. אפילו ההיעדר שמכוחו יבחן יותר.
So even those things which create a potential for greater kavod of Shabbat, right? So
ההיעדר?
yeah, wearing nice clothes on Shabbat gives kavod to Shabbat, right? But not wearing nice clothes on Friday, right? Through that, there's a potential of wearing nicer clothes on Shabbat, which makes it even better. Or not eating a nice big meal on a Friday night, so on a Friday afternoon, so that on Friday night you would have a nice kiddush.
Right. Yeah, I think I remember this. I don't know if I remember this from here. Maybe you'll go through it and give examples of like certain people. I don't know if it was Hillel that would eat certain things during the week, and only so that like you would only eat like onions and garlic during the week, and then on Shabbat you'll have something like that.
I eat onions and garlic on Shabbat.
Well, maybe
I specifically get nicer food on Shabbat. It has onions and garlic in it.
Yeah.
What? Yeah.
Ish lefi darko. One likes onions, one doesn't like onions. I don't know.
How can you not like onions? Okay.
Yeah. If you're the Rambam doesn't like onions. He doesn't. He does, but that's more from a medical perspective. ובכלל היראה עוד כבוד התורה ולומדיה. And also within awe, we also see the honoring of the Torah and her students, the people that study it. Uba'adaya,
Hedia means public, right?
Yeah. Shaninu. Interesting. The public we learn
Explicitly.
Okay, so we learned in Avot. כל המכבד את התורה, גופו מכובד על הבריות. So whoever honors the Torah, he will be honored by the world, by the creations, I don't know how did they translate, honored by the people. ואמרו ז"ל, and the sages also said in Sanhedrin, התלמוד, אמר רבי יוחנן, מפני מה זכה לאחיו למלכות 22 שנה? Rabbi Yochanan asked, why did Ahab merited to have a kingdom for 22 years? Because he was not a great person. לפי שקיבל את התורה שנתנה ב-22 אותיות, שנאמר, וישלח מלאכים אל אחיו וגומר, והדבר הזה לא אוכל לעשות. So it says that God gave him this honor because he honored the Torah that was given in 22 letters.
Hebrew alphabet has 22 letters.
Right, that's the connection. And it says that he was sent angels, messengers, and maybe he said, I don't know the context, but he said, like, I will do what you tell me to do. Something like that. Surely this, what is so, and he said to the messenger of Ben Hadad, the angels, tell my lord the king, all that you did send for you the servant at first, I will do. But this thing, I may not do. Now, what is meant by whatever is the desire of your eyes? Surely the scroll of the Torah. This requires extra context. But something to the effect that he honored, he did something. Yeah.
You have the art scroll right in front of you.
I do have the art scroll, but yeah, that's true.
How much can we cheat?
But yeah, I don't want to cheat too much.
Yeah.
But then I need to find it, Okay. Vaishlach Malachim, and he said in scripture in Melachim, said messengers. Okay. By saying this, you, my Lord the King, and I all are messenger to Chav, and said at this time tomorrow. I mean, this is long. Do you want me to read this?
It's okay. I mean,
Yeah.
Nach is for girls. We don't actually have to know the biblical stuff. We can just.
I mean, actually, I'm actually gonna start a little bit. I'm gonna start with Yeshua
Yeah, I mean,
because I don't know. I
people.
mean, I've learned it once in high
I,
school.
I've been so embarrassed about my lack of knowledge of Nach. It's embarrassing. Yeah.
Yeah. We're going to mitigate that at some point.
Ezrat Hashem.
בעזרת השם. Okay. ואמרו ז"ל, and all our sages said, in ברכות, in the Talmud, היה הולך ממקום למקום, וספר תורה עמנו. He will go from a person goes from place to place, travels, and
Well, I think this is specifically a chav, no, that he has to carry a Sefer Torah. Oh no, I guess not.
well, this is a different. This is brachot, right? Maybe it's
Yeah.
like
Okay.
if a man walks from a place to travels and he has the Torah scroll with him, לא יניחנו בשק ויניחנו על חמור וירכב עליו, אלא מניחו בחיקו וכולי. This person that's traveling will not place this Torah scroll in the back seat or will not place it in the trunk or on the side of the donkey, right? He will place it right next to him.
Yeah. So, or actually in his lap. So people may have sometimes noticed that a Sefer Torah, once it's completed, if they're going to move it from place to place, they will carry it the entire time.
Yeah.
Which on an airplane includes usually buying a seat for the Sefer Torah.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I mean the same is true for tefillin. So you don't put your tefillin in your checked bag.
It's not exactly the same, but okay. Yeah.
Well, why not? It's like exactly
the kedusha, but no. I mean, if you put your tefillin in your checked bag, or you leave it in the trunk or whatever, that's one thing. You can even send tefillin in the mail, right? It has to be properly packaged, but you can't. A Sefer Torah is something different.
Right. Okay, I get it. Vasru od, and they further made other constraints, or they prohibited from a few more things in what is that?
Moed Katan.
Moed Katan. That was
Yeah, I didn't know either. I had to look it up. Yeah.
In Moed Katan, לשב על המיטה שספר תורה עליה. That you can't sit on a bed that a Torah scroll is on. וכן אמרו בעירובין, and they also said in עירובין, in the Talmud, אין סורקים כתבי הקודש ואפילו על הלכות והגדות. You should not throw away holy writings, even halacha and midrash.
Yeah.
Gadot, or legends, midrash. Vastru, and they also mentioned in the Talmud in Megillah that they prohibited להניח נביאים וכתובים על גבי חומשים. That when if you have a book of Torah, I guess maybe this is still a scroll because back then you only had scrolls.
No, this is. I mean, even I guess it would be a scroll, but even
today I don't know if it's a custom. I don't think it's halacha, but I mean I also try not to put like if I have a Torah.
Generally, I mean I used to when I was a good kid. I used to go through the synagogue, and if people had put sidurim on top of chumashim, I would move the sidurim from the chumash, because you're not supposed to put a sidur on top of a chumash.
Right. So yeah, you're not supposed to put a sidur, and here specifically, you're not the prophets and writings that come after the Torah, and let's say are less holy than the Torah. Then they need to be under the book or the scroll.
Yeah. Funny enough, when I looked into it, the actual which what can go on what can't go on what, and
Breitowitz answers this. I've seen this multiple
really
times. Yeah. And
he
like
does.
in your backpack, you can, if you put it horizontal, like vertically, so that it's.
Oh, I would love to see where he answered this, because the rabbi that I talked to said, show respect. It's not about you know, the individual things. Show respect. This is more important than that. You don't put a Talmud on a Chumash. You put a Chumash on top of a Talmud.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah. So the sages say that these are the things that they prohibited for. These are specific things that were prohibited for all of the congregation, all of Israel, and the pious one should learn from these things how to apply this. So kind of like what we're speaking. If this applies to scrolls, maybe specifically in this instance, then we can apply it even to printed material if we're pious enough. Okay. ובכלל זה הניקיון והטהרה הצריכה לדברי תורה, שלא לעסוק בה אפילו בערעור במקומות המטונפים, ולא בידיים שאינם נקיות, וכבר הרבו חז"ל להזהיר על זה במקומות רבים. And in this include in this category, so it includes here, I guess, he brings in that this is also about the cleanliness and purity that is needed for the studying of Torah, because you should not study it in or engage with it in places that do not
in the bathroom.
In the bathroom, do not behoove it, and also not with unclean hands. And we've heard about this before. Our sages go over this multiple times. ובעניין לומדי תורה. And when we talk about the people that study the Torah, הנה מקרא כתוב מפני שיבה תקום והדרת פני זקן. We see in that it's written in scripture, it's written that you will arise before the elderly.
Yeah. Seva means someone who's, I mean, literally it means to be satiated, but it means
at least seva, or a white seva, like before like a white-haired person.
I mean, yeah, I guess, yeah. I mean, I think the plain meaning of the text is it's just repeating itself in different words, right? It's a couplet. Mm-hmm. But I think the rabbis actually learn out that from one of them, even an old person, even if he's just old and not wise, and a wise person, even if he's not old.
Right.
I forget which one was which. I guess Zaken is even if he's not wise, and Seva would be filled, has had his fill of learning Torah.
Yeah, the art scroll is actually different. The Zaken might mean more of a sage. Okay. Which now I think I remember something about that. The Zaken.
I don't remember which one was which, but you have to stand up if a very old person, even if he's not you have to stand up, and somebody, even if he's young, if he's learned Torah, much Torah, you have to stand
up. I'm pretty sure, I don't know, maybe I just remember it, but I'm pretty sure that in buses, at least when I was growing up, in the front seats, you would see Mipnei Seva Takum.
Oh, really? Interesting.
I think maybe I'm making this up, but it's definitely like something that I know. Like when I would go to the bus, especially as a soldier, that's like, but also before that, when I was young, that's like a very important thing. Like you always set up.
Yeah, interesting. Okay.
So it's interesting. What do you mean? I'm reading I was about to read from the article.
Okay.
Umina, well, for this I might need it actually. Umina yalpinan,
Yalfinan. So that
yalfinan,
means we learn out.
מינה ילפינן, לכל מיני כבוד שאפשר לעשות להם, שראוי ודאי לחסיד שיעשהו. So from this we see all the different kinds of honor that we can do, that we can give, that is important for a chassid to do, or to for a pious person to do.
Yeah.
That is proper for a pious person. וכבר אמרו, זיכרונם לברכה, and our sages said in Talmud and Ketuvot, ואת יראי השם יכבד. And those who fear God, he would honor. זה יהושפט מלך יהודה. This is speaking about Yehoshaphat, the king of Judah. שכיוון שהיה רואה תלמיד חכם, because when he saw a wise student of Torah, תלמיד חכם, היה עומד מכיסאו, מחבקו, מנשקו, ואומר לו, רבי, רבי, מורי, מורי. This king would rise up from his seat and he would hug and kiss and tell this person, my rabbi, my master, my master.
Yep.
Yeah, my teacher, my teacher. ורבי זרע, כשהיה חלוש מלימודו, Rabbi Zera, when he was weak from his studies, היה משים עצמו על פתח בית המדרש לעשות מצווה כשיקום מלפני תלמידי חכמים. He would put himself in front of the study hall.
Yeah, he would sit at the entrance.
He would sit so that so the other people could perform the mitzvah?
No, so that when people would come to the Beit, even if he wasn't learning at the Beit Midrash, he would sit in front of it so that when other people came, at least he could do he could stand up.
Right. Okay. לעשות מצווה שיקום לפני תלמידי חכמים. Okay. כל אלה דברים שכבר רואים אנחנו היות הבורא יתברך שמו חפץ בם וגילה דעתו העליון בזה. All these things are things that we can see that our creator, blessed be he, wants them and showed us his will and it is revealed to us his will in this matter. וכיוון שכן מי האיש החפץ לעשות נחת רוח ליוצרו, and for a person that wants to comfort his creator, הנה בדרך זה ילך ויוסיף לקח בתחבולותיו ולעשות הישר לפניו יתברך שמו. So this person will go in this way and will add on to it and will use his wisdom to in clever ways to do the things that God wants him to do. ובכלל זה כמו כן כבוד בית הכנסת ובית המדרש, אין די שלא ינהג בהם קלות ראש. And also from here we see that it's included the honoring of the Bet Knesset, house of prayer, and the study hall, that you should not take them lightly or not behave frivolously within. אלא שינהג בהם כל מיני כבוד ומורא בכל מנהגיו וכל פעולותיו, that you will that when you're there that you will behave in respectful and honorable ways. וכל מה שלא היה עושה בהיכל מלך גדול לא יעשה בהם. And everything that you wouldn't do in a big palace in front of a king, you wouldn't do in those places as well. Should we stop here?
How much time do you have?
I think
we could stop here.
Is this long or is this?
I looked. This chapter is pretty long.
Yeah.
In fact, this is the last long chapter.
Okay, after this is like right because after Chassidut is less. Yeah, I should probably.
Yeah. So this we will stop here, and it will be my turn. We are at 1981. That was a good year.
Anyone? Anyone?
I don't remember it. I was 4, but it was a good year. Oh no, we were at were we? Yeah, we were around there. No, we were at
81 you said, right? Oh no, 78.
yeah. I don't know why. I guess when I actually 79. Unedaber ata minyan
Mhm.
ha.
It's like a new.
79 is actually. I'll put it into the chat. It will be there as long as the chat is there. And now I have a sleeping cat on me. Okay.
Okay, right there. Yep.
Okay, people. Sorry for the delay. We were both a bit late.
Sorry about that.
We will see you guys later.
Thank you.